Hello, internets.
And interwebs.
I, of course, am Scott. There are not enough patches in the world to fix the glitches in my brain car. And with me, as always, is...
Robert. And yes, I have squeezed the Charmin. James.
You didn't have to share that. You really did.
Well.
Although you seem to be very proud of the fact that you did. Oh. Too much information. We, of course, are two guys who watch movies. And today we are two guys who are talking about movies. And
let me interrupt you because we are actually unscripted and mostly harmless. As the title card will now tell you. Roll it.
I love the fact you have to tell yourself to do that or you don't do it.
You know.
How sad is that?
Right.
Anyway, so today we are talking about a rather almost new movie. It's shocking because we don't do that very often.
It's within the last year, I think.
Well, 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2020.
Don't have a grabber. It's okay.
We are, of course, going to be talking today about Freaky.
That's really the name. We're not making it
Yeah,
up.
I'm actually not making that up. It is Freaky, which, oddly enough, for those who have not heard about this, is a horror film that is basically doing a horror version of Freaky Friday. Hence the title, Freaky. Although, oddly enough, it does happen on Friday, which I love. That.
And may intentionally make sure. But anyway,
They intentionally make sure that you are aware of this, and we will get into that. Of course, we will be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly. But first, quick plot synopsis, and this is pretty easy.
Spoiler warnings. We never do it until the end.
Oh.
Spoiler warning. Here's the thing.
Oh, not going to do a spoiler-free version? Oh, okay. That's fine. So, yeah, if you haven't seen this movie, I'll spoil one thing for you. We like the movie. And I recommend it. So I would say that if you don't want to have anything else spoiled other than the fact that we like it, go ahead and watch the movie first. I do recommend it. It is worth your while. It's rather entertaining. In fact, I would recommend watching it with other people because I think this is a nice group film. Not because of, oh, you need a bunch of people so you can make fun of it. No, it's just a nice group film, I think.
Agreed.
So, quick plot synopsis, and this, I was going to say there's no spoilers in this because I'm literally saying what's in the trailer, but anyway, plot synopsis, it's about a serial killer who's going around killing people and decides, for the heck of it, because I guess he likes to pick up things, he picks up a weird ceremonial dagger that he finds, and later on decides to use it to kill this regular, ordinary, everyday high school girl, and they end up switching bodies because of it. Hilarity ensues. Does that pretty much wrap it up?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, and there's, of course, a plot thread that she's got to stab him back with the same dagger within, was it 24 hours or 48 hours? I can't remember if it was 24 or 48.
It was some time frame.
Yeah. Well, at most 2 days. I think it was 24 hours. She's got to stab him back with that dagger so that they swap back. Otherwise, they'll be stuck in those bodies permanently. Okay. I think that about covers it.
It does.
Yeah. So, on to the good. You want to start with this?
Sure.
All right. What did you think was good about this movie?
The acting, the plot, the scenarios, the blood, the blood, the blood, the blood, the kills, the blood, the kills, the blood, the acting, the plot, the scenario, the sound. I think that covers it.
Well, I'm glad you didn't repeat yourself there.
Well, I just wanted to make sure. No, all kidding aside, really, obviously, the whole movie is very tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
If you've seen any of the previous Disney films, which I hate to say I have, you've seen this movie.
Oh, you mean if you've seen the Freaky Friday?
Right,
Yeah,
right,
if you've
right.
seen Freaky Friday, you've seen this movie. Because it is very much Freaky Friday, just a horror version of it,
But
basically.
it's very self-aware of that.
Oh, yes.
And because of that reason, it's not trying to be something it's not.
Yeah.
The plot is what it is. A straight person and a fall guy swap bodies, and eventually they have to swap back.
Yeah.
With MacGuffin stopping them from doing so.
Right. exactly.
It's a tried and true formula, but the way they did it and the way they didn't take themselves too seriously.
Yep.
However, it was very serious. When somebody got killed, they freaking got killed. There was no crap.
Yeah, they had some really nice. They definitely had some nice kills in this.
Oh,
that definitely
phenomenal kill.
That definitely goes into the good section. And I would also say that with this movie, from the same writer director of Happy Death Day, he basically took Groundhog Day and turned it into a horror film, and the second one almost took Back to the Future and turned it, you know. But yeah, I love the whole, hey, let's take something that would never be a horror movie and turn it into a horror movie. Absolutely love the idea of that. So a lot of fun with this one. Now my good Vince Vaughn, who plays the serial killer in this, having to act like a scared teenage girl is worth the price of admission right there. My God. I don't think there was a single scene he was in that I wasn't cracking up laughing once the swap happened.
Yep.
Because I absolutely believed he was a teenage girl for half of it. Over half of it, actually. And that's not to say anything bad on the actress, whose name, Catherine Newton, I think her name is. I might be wrong. But phenomenal actress because she plays both parts so well. I have a feeling she got a kick out of playing the serial killer part because she looks like she's enjoying herself. And the funny thing is that she's being evil, she's being menacing, but because she was such a
teenage girl?
Well, I'd say kind of a scaredy cat little girl, because she really is. Before that, she does not stand up for herself at all whatsoever beforehand.
She's kind of timid.
She's very timid. So because of that, no one takes anything that she does seriously. I mean, she's practically just trying to kill people, and they're like, "What are you doing?" They don't. So yeah, I found that very amusing, and like he said, like you were saying, but the acting's good, the whole production is well done. In fact, there's some really good jokes in here, but also really good kills. There's some bad stuff which we're going to get to, but I got a kick out of the fact that she's trying, as Vince Vaughn, now after they swapped, so the girl in Vince Vaughn's body is trying to chase down her two friends. One is a woman, a black woman, and the other one is a guy who's homosexual. And the one girl say, "We got to run," and he's like, "You're black, I'm gay. There's no way we're going to survive this."
We're in a horror film. We're going to die. That was another good point I wanted to mention. I know a lot of the views that I express here seem liberal, and believe it or not, I'm not liberal. I'm not conservative. I'm right in the middle. The black lady and the homosexual guy did not feel at all forced.
Yeah, agreed.
It's so refreshing to have characters, they belonged in that universe as her best friends.
Yeah.
They couldn't have casted that better. It was just hats off.
Another scene I absolutely love is that they have later on the serial killer in the girl's body. They have her tied up, and they're at the gay friend's house, and his mother comes home early and finds him there with this girl tied up, and she wants to know what you're doing. Why do you have your friend tied up in a chair? And not knowing what else to say, he goes, "Mom, I'm straight." And she goes, "Honey, you're a lot of things, but straight ain't one of them." And I'm sorry, it was absolutely hilarious because it was just that the mother was totally okay with her son being who he is, but at the same time, she's going to call him out on what was obviously
bullcrap.
Yeah, exactly, being made up. She wasn't about to fall for it for even a second. So no, it's just I thought it was, for the most part, really well written.
Yes.
And really well
Characters
done.
were believable.
Yep. And very entertaining. That's the thing. for most of the film, I was very entertained. Like with once the swap was done, I mean, I couldn't stop laughing for a lot of these scenes, and to me, it never got boring either because they're first trying to figure out what exactly happened, but even afterwards, they're trying to find the dagger to get it back, and they're trying to stop the killer from killing more people. And to me, although yeah, it was very formulaic because, like you said, it's very much like the free credit. I never got bored. I never, for once, was like, "Oh, this part. Do we have to do this part? Can we just skip this?" So no, I was very happy with the film.
Yep.
So, but unfortunately, there's no movie that's really perfect. So we do have to move on
to bad.
The bad.
Nice title card. Mm-hmm. I'm nitpicking, but he's going to go first.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to go first this time. Huh? Okay. Well, first off, I purposely said most of this movie works very well and has a good pace and everything like that. The one thing that I really did not care for, I hate to say, was the beginning. To me, it starts off kind of slow. Now, not to say we don't have some wonderful kills at the beginning.
Dude, the spear through her and the wall.
We had some great kills in the beginning. The problem is that other than the kills, it was a very paint by the numbers stalker film, which it was supposed to be. I mean, that's what they're making fun of. But I hate to say it, I was getting a little bored. Watching the stalker thing at the beginning, other than the kills. You knew what was going to happen. There was nothing unexpected. You saw it coming. In fact, they were doing that, I think, on purpose, actually.
I think they were.
Yeah. And then with the girl, I mean, I'm glad to see. I was glad to see who she was before the swap happens. I was very happy about that. But then they're mixing in a few things that felt almost like they were a little too heavy for such a lighthearted movie. Because for the most part, the movie's lighthearted. But then right at the beginning, you find out that her dad died and her mother was unable to cope with it. And because of that, she's an alcoholic. And it's because of her alcoholism that later on, she gets put in a position that the killer is able to kill her. If it wasn't for the alcoholism, then that would have never happened. It felt a little heavy-handed to me. But at the same time, I kind of got why they were doing it. It was more for plot, but at the same time, it felt like a little too much for what was essentially a comedy. Otherwise, a horror comedy. Don't get me wrong, but a comedy nonetheless. So a little too thick on the drama, just in certain parts. And then the other bad I have was, as much as I love the kills, there was one kill I had a problem with. There's a scene where the girl, now swapped, is the killer in the girl's body, wants to kill people and has been unsuccessful to this point. So the first kill that she gets is with this other girl, lures her into the locker room, and is trying to figure out how she's going to kill her because now she isn't as strong as she was in the guy's body. So she wants to hit her with a fire extinguisher, but it's too heavy for her, and tries a bunch of other things. And instead decides to lock her into a cryo booth.
Which all high schools have.
And turn the temperature way down. I know I haven't been in high school for a while, but since when did we start getting cryo booths? When did this become a thing? Is this a thing? Is this something I'm not aware of?
When they're convenient to the plot line.
I can't even imagine what it's used for. So, if people out there know that there are such things as these cryo booths in high schools, please, in the comment section below, tell me what this is. Why do they have them? What are they used for?
And where can I get one for the weekend?
I don't know what you want to do for your weekend, but I don't think it's going to help any. To me, that kind of was really stretching the whole suspension of disbelief because I can't imagine why you would even have such a thing, why a high school would have that, why it would be able to go to negative 130 degrees, I believe she said it for.
Right.
So, as funny, it was kind of funny, but yeah, to me it was just a bit more. It's like, really, we couldn't come up with anything else in a locker room just filled with sports equipment. We couldn't come up with another way to kill her. We had to go and do this cryo thing.
Wake up.
So, in fact, if she had lured her into the kitchen and thrown her into a walk-in freezer, I would have been fine. But she took her into a locker room and found what looked more like a tanning. I thought it was a tanning booth. And I didn't even understand why there was a tanning booth. But then I saw the word cryo and then saw that she was going negative 130. Like, what the hell? What am I watching?
I don't disagree.
And when did this become sci-fi? Although the writer-director did say that he feels this, in his mind, he says this takes place in the same world as Happy Death Day. That's why he would like to do a crossover someday. And he wants to call it Freaky Death Day.
Nice.
And I'm totally okay with that.
I am
Dude,
too.
if you can get away with it, do it, man. I would love to see what you would come up with.
Yeah.
So what do you have for your bad? Because that's all I can think of at the moment.
Vic, what's his name? The guy.
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn was not Kane Hodder.
Oh, yes. We had this discussion several times.
He was channeling Kane, but he wasn't Kane.
Well, although the good news about Vince Vaughn, which I do agree with this part for his casting, not only is he a good comedic actor and a good actor, but also good with comedy because he also does like stand-up and stuff like that. He's got good comedic timing. As an actor, although he isn't built like Kane Hodder, he isn't that big. He is a tall guy. I looked it up. He's 6'5". So he ain't short.
No.
So that does, in fact, that worked to his advantage in the other scenes because, he is just towering over her friends.
I never found him intimidating.
Okay.
He was doing Kane. He
Yeah.
was and
yeah.
Bela Lugosi.
Yeah.
But I just, because I've seen him in so many roles,
I gotcha.
I couldn't take it too seriously.
Which might be the reason why they have him in a mask at the beginning for so long.
Right.
Because he does wear a mask at the beginning for a long time now. More likely it's an homage to Friday the 13th because, boy, that mask looked a lot like a hockey mask.
Yeah, it did. It was amazing.
It was supposed to be a tribal mask of something or other, but yeah, it just happened to look a lot like a hockey mask.
Am I real bad? Because that was just nitpicking.
And that was the other reason.
And he did fine.
And that was the other reason you were saying Kane Hodder specifically because he's wearing almost like a hockey mask.
And he was doing the movements.
Oh yeah. He very much moves like Jason because he never. I don't think he once ran.
No.
He was always doing
would teleport.
He was doing the fast walk, and then all of a sudden he would be somewhere,
in front of you.
Yeah.
Yes. My real bad. The sister who was a police officer. Again, okay, not all cops are Jackie Chan. Okay, but most of them are competent.
Yeah.
Her sister was useless as tits on a board. Let me see. She made the wrong call, almost got everyone killed. She got locked in a jail cell after getting. She was. Why do movies keep doing this?
Yeah, it's very
Make
common.
her a security guard, and not that there's not very competent security guards, but there's much less training.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you right now, the whole reason that they had her as a cop was because they were going to have the dagger in the evidence locker, and they wanted to go and have the conflict. So they decided, hey, let's make the cop on duty be a relative.
That could have been wrote as it was confiscated at school into the principal's office.
Yeah.
You don't have to. There are so many badass female cops. Just stop making them look like they're incompetent.
Although the good news is that she did have a little bit of a redemption along with all the other women at the end because at the end, both the sister, the main character, and the mother beat the crap out of the serial killer.
Yeah.
And I was all for it. I loved that scene. I rather enjoyed that scene.
That's all the bad.
So
got.
I was very happy with that. So yeah.
And it was hard to find bad. Again, those are both nitpicky as hell.
Yeah. So last but not least, we got The Ugly. So because it was so hard for you to find
You
a
have
bad.
to pause for the title. You have to be like, The Ugly. And the title card comes up. That's a shit demon, by the way, in that thing.
Yeah, from Dogma.
Yes.
Yeah. You thought I didn't know that?
So, yeah, and then the title card goes away, and then you start talking.
Dude, we do a show about watching movies. You think I haven't seen Dogma?
But it's only on screen for like 2 seconds.
But it's a shit demon. How many times do you
How
see
many
a shit
demons
demon?
have you seen in your lifetime? Exactly.
I mean, granted, I've watched a lot of horror movies. I've seen a lot of demons, but not shit demons specifically.
When I used to drink Schlitz and Coors, I've seen a lot of shit demons.
I bet you have. Okay, so moving on to The Ugly. Do you even have an ugly? Because
I do,
you
a for
had
real
such a hard time getting a bad. I thought you may have no ugly for this movie.
No, I haven't.
Because, that's okay. You're allowed. But let's go with your ugly first.
The
Because
MacGuffin,
okay.
the knife,
The dagger or
the
knife
tribal
or whatever
theme.
it's called.
No.
Yeah.
You did so good in everything else, but then you have to have a MacGuffin. Make the MacGuffin something a little different that we haven't seen before.
Honestly, I wasn't that upset about it. You know why? Because number one, I know at least one of the Freaky Fridays was a wish. I was so glad they didn't do that. My God, how horrible would that have been that she wished to be someone else and becomes a serial killer.
No, but
What?
but the whole thing. Okay.
So the reason why I was okay with the dagger. There's a reason I was okay with this because of the background of the dagger. The background of the dagger is that it was supposed to be for ritual sacrifice, and it was supposed to be that if you fail in the sacrifice, you swap bodies. It was a punishment. And that the only way to go back then is to go and have the other person, stab back, to go and swap them back, which they just had to have because they needed a way back. They had to have a way to reverse it. I'd be fine if they had come up with another way to reverse it. I think that would be better because that seemed a bit odd. But the fact that they get punished, that this is supposed to be a dagger for like apparently an actual god or some kind of beings that actually exists. And what happens with that, when he stabbed her, he missed her heart. He got her in the shoulder instead. And because of that, it was deemed an improper sacrifice. Plus, the cops show up, right? Her sister actually shows up and saves her because otherwise he would have stabbed her again and he probably would have succeeded, But because he gets interrupted, it's seen as a failure, and therefore they are punished. Well, he's the one being punished because it's swapping him into the body of the sacrifice.
But
So I was okay with it personally,
no.
but I understand where you're coming from, and honestly, I wish they had a different way of swapping them back.
You could literally have it be they touch the same door handle on both sides of the door. And instead of having a stupid mission to stab each other back, they spend most of the time trying to figure out how the hell it happened.
Yeah.
They retrace their steps.
Yeah.
And then they figure out, okay, we got to touch the same. It's just,
But my question then is, what would you have done if you were going to do this? If you were going to you're going to keep everything the same, but you're going to change the MacGuffin, what would you have done?
Because of the feeling of the film, I would make it that they were all smoking a bong. She was the last one to hit it, right?
Smoking a bong with a serial killer?
No, the serial killer's not there yet. Serial killer comes and whacks them all. Our blonde protagonist goes and hides. He's walking through, sees the bong, takes a hit, bop. The bong is the device.
Okay.
Hilarity ensues. They have to figure out what happened by retracing what detective work. And at the end, the movie ends by them sharing a bong.
I'm so glad they went with a dagger.
Actually, at the real end, what I would have had them doing is have one of the besties suggest that, and then have her break the bong in half and stab him in the F and I.
Oh, there you go.
And that would have reversed it.
Yeah. Personally, I'm fine with the dagger. As far as what I would have done differently for changing them back, no, I would have said destroying the dagger in some way. That they had to destroy the dagger within 24 hours, or they can't go back. And what ends up happening is the killer finds out about it. He gets the dagger, and he's keeping it on his person to make sure that it doesn't get destroyed.
Right.
So they have to basically find him. They got to wrestle him down to the ground and get the damn thing to go and destroy it. That, to me, I think would have been better. But the downside of that, you can't have a sequel then.
Right.
And I think that's the reason why they had it be, well, you got to stab over again.
Right.
You know, so I understand. I know where they're coming from. And that's why, for me personally, I didn't have that big of a problem with it. Because I thought, for all the different ways that I've seen this in the past, because we've seen other movies doing similar things, I think this was one of the better ones. It's still a MacGuffin, but it's definitely one of the better ones because, oh my God, like I said, touching the same door handle, having a wish,
right.
you know. Or there was one where two people touched a mystical statue at the same time on accident. I mean, oh, come on.
Yeah.
You know, when moonlight was hitting it, you know, and then they had to do it again when moonlight was hitting it, and like, oh, come on, you know, I'm happy with the dagger.
So what is your ugly?
Well, my ugly, and I'm glad already did a spoiler warning because this is definitely a spoiler, but my ugly, and I think this is ugly. Football player rapists is my ugly. So, in the movie, it looks like I need to explain this because you are very confused. Okay, so in the movie, the girl once swapped with the serial killer, so the killer is in the girl's body.
Right.
At one point, gets her butt squeezed by a football player. And she tells the football player...
Oh, okay.
That how did she word it? Because you were very happy with that line. You loved that line. How'd that line go?
It was something to the effect of your touch is make this pussy drier than
a sandpaper.
Sandpaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he took offense to that. And decides that he basically wants to get revenge on her. So at one point, he's trying to convince her to go in the back. Well, at this point, she's trying to kill as many people as possible because she's full on, I'm just sick of these people, these high school students. I want to kill these people. Because once again, serial killer is still in her body. So she acts like she's into him just to go and get him into the back room. Well, they get to the back room, and what did we find? Oh, he brought two other guys along with him, and they flat out tell her that they are going to rape her. Because they tell her that there's three of them, and she's got 3 holes. What a coincidence. I'm sorry, that was a bit much, because not only are they implying, oh, well, these football players are rapists, which... maybe they're trying to say it's just those 3, or maybe they're trying to say it's all of them. But then we have another football player later who goes and hits on the gay friend.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then threatens him when he doesn't reciprocate. I'm like, are you trying to say all these football players are rapists regardless of their preference? Because that's kind of what you're making it sound like. I'm like, there is so much. You did not have to go. You didn't have to make them rapists. I mean,
There
granted,
was ways of making them assholes.
exactly.
Without,
They could have been assholes without
to
being
me, that's
rapists.
what I got. They were trying to get you to hate these
Yeah.
cocksuckers.
And here's the thing: I was fine with hating them. I was fine to watch them die. Believe me, I enjoyed watching them die. So
Absolutely.
they did succeed in that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it could have been more along the lines of, we are going to humiliate you, or we're going to do something terrible to you. I think rape is just too far.
Never should be used in a...
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, that's why I consider that ugly. I understand what they were going for, but to
There's
me,
better ways.
yeah, there's other ways you could have done
That's
it.
your point.
I mean, and the funny thing is that it almost bothered me more because they were supposed to be high school students.
Right.
It bothered me more because they were supposed to be in high school. If they were in college, they could have set this up ahead of time saying that like certain girls were trying to claim that the football players were doing something that they weren't supposed to and stuff like that. So it would come as no shock when it turned out that, oh, hey, they actually are doing things that they're not supposed to be doing. It turns out that a bunch of the football players are rapists and they're all in on it and stuff like that. You know, it could have been a subplot. But this actually came out of nowhere. Despite the fact that they teased her, in no way or shape or form do you get the idea these guys are just going around raping girls.
Right.
You know,
you get that they're assholes, but you don't get that they're rapists.
And the fact that they turned them into rapists just all of a sudden out of the blue, just I was like, really? We're going there? Wow.
they went there.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't really happy with that, and that's why I consider that my ugly, because you didn't have to.
Yeah.
You know, I thought that was a bit much. I get what they're doing. And it did succeed because it did make me hate them. It did make me enjoy watching their death.
I was going to say, I agree with you that rape, but that wasn't comedic. It was played serious.
That's the thing. This is a horror comedy. I think it was in the wrong movie. Because if it was...
it was played serious.
Yeah.
They were trying to rape her.
Yeah, and I'm saying that it almost goes against
the feeling of the movie.
Because it was too serious for a horror comedy. If this was a serious horror film, then it would actually fit more, despite the fact they're in high school. You know?
I get what you're saying, but we kind of... I enjoy when a movie makes me hate the victim. Give me a reason to root for the bad guy every once in a while.
Like they did with the teacher.
Exactly.
Because...
exactly. So I get what you're saying. You're right. Yeah. And if they would have played it up for laughs, I probably would have had an issue. But to me, that was just... Even her attitude was like, this is a serial killer going, you stupid little shit.
Yeah, I did like how she reacted to him, you know, how the serial killer reacted to him, because the serial killer was, it wasn't about to even, He was like, nah.
But yeah,
you're all dead.
Valid point, though.
Yeah, the serial killer was going to kill them anyway. It didn't matter, but
right.
Yeah. So I did like the reaction. But yeah, now the teacher I thought was done much better, because the teacher was flat out, he was just an asshole.
He was an asshole.
For no reason.
Did he deserve to die?
What's that?
Did he deserve, in a real life scenario, suspend your disbelief? Did the teacher deserve to die, or the 4 people that were raping people? Which one deserved to die?
Well, the rapist, obviously, and then the teacher deserved to lose his job.
Agreed.
And never get another teaching job ever again.
Agreed. But
Because,
did he deserve
oh my
to die?
God. No. Although, oddly enough, he almost gets there later on, because at first, he's just an asshole. Okay? And the killer, because he's the teacher's being an asshole to the killer, even though, you know, obviously in a girl's body, decides, okay, I'm going to kill this guy. And she doesn't succeed at first because of the fact that she's in a weaker body. He's not as strong as he used to be. But she tried to hit him with something or whatever like that. Wasn't enough to even knock him out or nothing like that. It just hurt him. So the teacher decides to try to kill her. Wow. Okay, at that point, yes, he deserves to die, because he's not just like, he doesn't like just hit her back, or in fact, he shouldn't even hit her back in the first place. He should be grabbing her and like, yeah, you're getting suspended for the rest of your life. You're getting expelled, whatever.
Right.
You know, you don't attack a teacher. Yeah, you get expelled for that. I totally agree with that. He doesn't do that. He starts beating the crap out of her.
He does.
Like,
He definitely deserves to die.
Like, you got to be kidding me. Yeah, so I was more than happy to...
Right.
I was rooting for the killer in several scenes, as you can imagine. So,
Through a majority of this movie, I was kind of...
Yeah, exactly. So in the end, that is freaky. How many coffee cups are you going to give this film?
I am going to give it, and I need to bring my coffee, 4.
You gave it 4?
4.
4 out of 5.
And this is on a new horror movie that was written within the last 20 years. 4.
There you For me personally, I'm giving it 4.5
Whoa.
coffee cups out of 5 because, with the exception of the few things that we were talking about, like I said, very entertaining with this film. And the funny thing is that that half had to do more with the fact that I felt it was, a little slow, a little boring before the swap.
Right.
If they had found a way to make that less slow, less boring, this would have been a 5. Easily. This could have been a 5, regardless of the ugly. Regardless of that.
I don't know if our coffee cups go that high. I've never gotten past 3.
Well, you'll have to figure a way to... I'm sure you figured a way to do it, because they were already on the screen. They were already gone by now.
Right.
I'm sure you figured a way to do it.
Oh, I'm sure I did.
You just had to use the whole screen. That's all it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's 10 coffee cups, or 4, 9.5.
Well, no. There's just 5 total. So you show yours first, and then you show mine. And then you do them on top. You do them on top of each other. We can't see us anymore because there's too much coffee on the screen.
25 cups on the 7. All right.
So,
cool.
So that's freaky. Yeah, recommended. Really recommended.
Absolutely, go see this movie. If you're a horror fan, go see it.
Comedy fan who doesn't mind some horror, go see it.
Go see it.
Yeah, as long as you don't mind watching gory kills, because some of them are a tad gory. It's not
they're
too
gloriously
bad.
gory.
It's not
gory.
It's not too bad in the sense that they hang on the gore. They don't hang on the gore. It's kind of quick, So just for those who don't like gore, but love comedy, and are kind of curious about this movie, they don't hang on it too much. So if you can stand it for a few seconds, or if you're told by another person who's already seen it when to look away, you might be able to enjoy this film.
There you
That
go.
might be a good way to do it. Get someone who's already seen it, and
Or
have
just-
them tell you when to look away from the gore. Unless they're a practical joker, like myself.
Look away, but you're just grabbing a bag of chips. I don't care. Look away.
All right, now you want to look. Oh my God! Why would you do that to me?
Yeah, pretty
Yes. I've only done it a few times. A few.
Yes, definitely go see this.
Yes.
I don't know what's next
Oh,
because
yeah,
this
no
won't
clue.
go for 3 weeks. And now that Resident Evil's out, well, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks. So now that Resident Evil's done, and this one we should already have the last Resident Evil posted.
Yep.
I have no. Oh, yes, I do. Mortal Kombat.
Yep. Our next script meeting is Mortal Kombat. I was waiting to see how long it would take for him to remember.
Well, you haven't sent me a script yet.
I'm getting there. It's done when it's done, okay?
Yeah. The script is in the mail.
So, yeah, if you're watching our script meetings, next one is going to be Mortal Kombat.
Not Resident Evil.
But Resident Evil will get mentioned, so you'll get to look forward to that. We may do the sequel right off the bat, or we may not. We'll see, because we don't always do sequels immediately. It depends. It depends.
Go ahead.
Yeah. But the thing is, there's only one sequel, and that's if we do it, it's because there's only one sequel. Yeah. There's Mortal Kombat Annihilation. That's it. Yeah. Don't even start
There's
bringing.
one more.
Don't be bringing up the TV series. Don't be bringing up Legacy, because that's it. It's Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
But there's more.
No, there isn't.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
No, there
That is it.
Fine.
Until the reboot, which is coming out in April.
Right. So anyway,
As far as the next Unscripted, we haven't decided. We
let
got
you know
no
after
clue.
we watch the movie.
Yeah, we'll eventually figure out what we're going to do next.
Yep.
We might even go back to what we were doing originally, where we each force the other one to watch something horrible.
I discovered Tubi and all the horror flicks that live there.
Oh, and I've already got a list of things that he doesn't like.
Looking forward to it.
They're wonderful, awesome movies that almost everyone likes. He, for some reason, doesn't like these movies, and he will get forced to watch them again.
Sounds about right.
So I think that's it for this
That's
episode.
it.
All right. So yeah, go ahead and check out Freaky. And in the meantime, go ahead and like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're listening to this on the podcast, be sure to take a look at our YouTube channel,
Yes.
where we have these with our wonderful, glorious faces. Oh, mine's glorious. I don't know about yours. And also our script meetings, where we make fun of the script meeting that we suspect happened when they were coming up with some of these
A
movies.
lot of hookers and blow.
Actually, we haven't done that much hookers and blow in these.
Look,
scripts
what
yet.
I'm thinking about when you're doing this is my business. Now, you leave me up.
There you go.
So, I think that's good.
So yeah. So until next time, laters.
Peace, love, unless you're alone, then never at the same time. See ya. Because you can't, have a piece of yourself when you're alone. Peace and love alone is, Bye.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Get ready.
Fight.